Now, this is probably the first time that a company offers to send me a product and I accept solely based on the aesthetic of the product. I was looking for a mic that is aesthetically pleasing, that you can basically say that you bought it to complement your whole set while also sounding decent. And it's even better if that mic is very affordable. So this is the Anker PowerCast M300, and we're gonna be taking a look at it. So opening up the box, what you will find is the mic itself, and then you have the base, and then you have two USB cables. One of the big advantages of USB microphones, apart from, the plug and play aspect of it, is that they can easily become full-on audio interfaces. This mic, not only the design is pretty cool, but on top of that, it comes with a bunch of options. At the back of it, you'll find the USB port, a button to control the RGB LEDs, and then you'll have a monitor port for your headset. On the side, you will find a multi-function knob that you can use to mute the mic, to control the volume of the mic, but also of your monitor. Like, you can straight up control your PC volume straight from the mic. For the LEDs, you have this LED ring at the back, but the inside of the mic also has some LEDs. So from the side, you can clearly see what color they are. Once you press the mute button, for example, it turns red. That's one thing. If you press and hold, it will switch to PC volume mode, and then you can control your PC's volume. And now we're back to mic mode. Now the build quality is actually pretty good, with most of the parts being metal. The base has a non-slippery pad, as you would expect, and I really like this little rotational platform that it sits on. You can also unscrew the base in order to put it on a mic arm or a mic stand, which makes it universal. But if you would like to slip it into an actual shock mount, you can also unscrew the side of the mic, making it independent. There's over 23 light effects if you press on the RGB button, but this one is my favorite because it's full RGB, displaying all the colors and showing you some individually addressable LEDs, so it feels like it's circling around. I love this. Most of the other effects are like single color effects and stuff like that. Now let's talk about the sound. This mic shape apparently has an advantage over other types of mics that are cardioid or stuff like that, because it makes it a little bit more unidirectional. So if I hold the mic like this and I'm speaking to you and I start twisting it, you'll realize that, okay, the sounds are not picking up the exact same. If I keep talking like that, you can hear that there's definitely a sound difference where you get more clarity right here. I realized that for the distance from my testing, which is not a lot really, one fist and one pinky is going to be the distance that is optimal for me when I'm speaking into it, because the membrane is actually quite sensitive. If I get really close, in 3 seconds, I'm about to scream into the mic to try to make it saturate. If I get really close like that, it saturates and it sounds awful. So this distance seems to be the best. When it comes to the frequencies that we hear the most, there seems to be this frequency that is the highest, that is more towards high, between mid and high. So it's kind of and I would probably have to filter that out with an EQ. What you're hearing right now is actually processed, and I will make you listen to the raw sound in a little bit, right? Again, with the shape, since there is this grid pattern in front of it and the capsule is actually a little far back, this gives us amazing plosive control in a way. If I go pop, 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 Peter Parker, it doesn't blow up your headphones, but that's also because there seem to not be that much of very low frequencies, right? So there's like a frequency cutoff when it comes to the low frequencies. That also helps you when it's sitting down on your desk, so it doesn't pick up all the vibration. So it's a good for a bad in a way. It doesn't pick up as much vibration. Your plosives are well controlled, but also you don't get to have that very bassy voice straight like plug and play. And if you bump it up with an EQ, maybe it's gonna be muddy, maybe it's not gonna sound as good. Now, due to the shape being very directional and stuff, it really helps when it comes to noise management, because it mostly picks up your voice and not much of the noise around you, but it's still pretty sensitive. Especially since it comes with this base and it's supposed to be kind of far from you, like on your table. So let's try it out. I'm gonna set it down on my table right now. And this is what it would sound like. First of all, you would probably hear more reverb because there's more sound bouncing from my walls going to the mic due to the distance. It's not too far from me, but this is, if I was sitting straight, this is what it would sound like if I was just gaming with this on my table, pointing directly at my mouth. It's not optimal. I definitely recommend you, look at me, I'm already hunched down trying to speak into it. I definitely recommend you to get an arm and put this on an arm so it can be as close. Remember, one fist and one pinky. Another thing to keep in mind right now is that I have a noise reducer. So right now I'm going to test it raw and basically what it will sound like when you just plug and play. Basically, when you just plug it in and put it into OBS. Of course, you're not supposed to use it like that. Of course, you need a noise gate. You need a compressor, you need an EQ to have the perfect preset that you want. And there it is. This is what the PowerCast M300 sounds raw with no filters whatsoever, with no noise gate. Admitted there's not a lot of noise in my room right now, but if I, start doing like, I'm passing my fingers on my keyboard just a little bit. I'm tapping my mouse. It's pretty well, like if you have it close like that, it's pretty well balanced. I'm gonna set it up on the table and then tap the table, tap my mouse. I'll let you know what I'm doing. So now if it's on the table, it's considered, now that I have it on the table, it's considerably closer to the keyboard than to my mouth. So if I just pass my hands over the keys, this is what it sounds like. If I start typing, kind of loud, but not really. This is not a clickety-click keyboard. If I start slamming my mouse, or if I start just tapping on the table, this is what it sounds like, right? So I definitely recommend you, hey, put it on an arm, especially if you're a live streamer. I know most of my audience is. Yeah, overall, it's a mic that costs $50. And I think for the aesthetic, like it matches my light pretty well. I think it's kind of worth it. Let me turn off my key light. If you're gonna have it on the side like that with the camera, I think that looks really good, not gonna lie. So if aesthetic is one thing that you're considering for your first microphone, or maybe you had a very bad XLR mic with a bad XLR interface and you would like to switch to USB, I recommend this mic as a first mic. I would not recommend it as an upgrade because, $50 is kind of like entry level when it comes to price, unless you really have like a crappy mic. In that case, then upgrade to this one. Let me press the RGB button. Of course, while you're live streaming, for example, or while you're recording, you don't want to press anything on the mic because it's gonna sound like loud. Oh, this one is just fading in and out of the colors. So if you have specific colors, I think this mic can be pretty cool if you want to display them, because you have some effects with specific colors too. For example, I would probably stick with purple. Look at that. This is literally my color scheme. Look at it. This is perfect. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. There will be a link for you if you want to get it. Probably an Amazon affiliate link. Let me know how you think it sounds, and let me know if it sounds better than your current mic or not, or if it's worth it to buy it just for the aesthetic. I think yes. I think right now people look at aesthetic a lot. Obviously you can see around my room, I'm very fond of everything that has to do with lighting, and this one's pretty cool. I might just set it up as decoration in my background actually. But yeah, that was it. If you don't know, I actually live stream on Twitch. You can check me out over there, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching the video. Go out there, make me proud. I get a level out.